Things are pretty quiet for Shiba Inu right now. I think most of us can agree to that. But frankly, things are pretty quiet for meme coins in general. Things are pretty quiet across the crypto market. In fact, the last 24 hours, we've had less than $100 billion in daily trading volume across the crypto market. Very quiet day for the week. That's normally weekend volume. And what's interesting for Shiba Inu is that it's now settling into this trend, which is exactly the same as it was in August of 2024. And what's interesting is that led us to do a pump within 7 days, and it actually was the floor of our reversal. And Shib is showing a lot of those similar signs right now. We're going to talk about that in this video, and I want to break this down for you guys. So if you're new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So just a quick walk around the space. Yeah, very, very low volume, right? $82 billion in daily trading volume. This is one of the lowest weekly days we have in fact seen. And it's kind of surprising because we're starting to see a little bit of green across the crypto market. If we look at, memes in general, even most memes are green right now, a modest green. But across the market, we are starting to see things flip a little bit more bullish. The bulls are starting to take over just slightly and carry us up in terms of prices. Shiba Inu stacking back-to-back green days as well. Today is only a 0.4% day to the upside, at least at the time of filming this video. Yesterday was 1.18%. We're starting to look a little bit better, like we have a little bit more of a sound floor. And what I'll say for Shiba Inu is we're doing something very similar to what we did back in August of last year. And what we actually are now seeing is this complete inversion of all of Shiba Inu's moving averages. And what I mean by that is, normally you want obviously your 20-day on top, your 50-day below that, your 100-day below that, your 200-day below that. And that is a bullish sign. It means that overall both short-term and long-term momentum are carrying prices higher. We've seen that many times before, right? When we look at Shiba Inu back here, you guys can see the exact opposite of what we're starting to see. That's what carried Shib to higher prices. Saw the exact same thing back here on Shiba Inu's massive breakout, right? So we're now getting to this point where our 100-day is crossing our 200-day to the downside. Here's our 50-day, here's our 20-day, right? And what's interesting is that some people might think, oh yeah, this is super bearish or blah, 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 right? And it's actually a very good bottom signal, or it can be a good bottom signal. If you look at this in bear markets, yes, it sucks. You have a very long period of time where you're stuck in this. But what's interesting is Shiba Inu did this exact same thing actually as we were coming down from our February March extension last year. And you guys can see that right on about August 12th or so, we saw Shiba Inu making this same cross. We actually saw our 100-day falling below our 200-day. And what's interesting is this formation right here, very similar to this formation right here that we're experiencing currently, right? Fighting our 20-day moving average just above here. You guys can see that here. We're just getting the flip right up here. And then lo and behold, it did not take long for Shiba Inu to start making this move to the upside. And in fact, from the time that cross took place, this bottom for Shib was 7 days later, and then extension to the upside. Now we did have a couple retests. This was kind of a fake breakout. We saw a nice extension to the upside, then a subsequent drop following that. And what really that was, BTC essentially, I don't want to say leading the market astray, right? But it looked like we were going to test the top of our trend. And then we got a subsequent throwback to the downside, which led into the early part of September. And that's really where things began to send. But what's interesting here is when we look at the RSI at that point, doing a very similar thing, right? We came down, we touched oversold, we had a nice little breach above, came back down, retested this trend right at the time that this was crossing, okay? Doing the exact same thing right now. Came down, touched oversold, breach, coming back down, retesting right as we are crossing this, okay? Momentum indicators showing the same thing on the MACD. These are all very similar signs to what we experienced at that point in time. Now, I'm not saying it's exactly the same. I don't even feel like sentiment is the same, right? At that point, granted, we did just come out of a whole big slew of black swan events. We had basically one here that we just had recently, and that's caused kind of just this tiptoeing through the market currently. But what's interesting here is we're in a completely different era if we think about it in terms of crypto, right? We have a pro-US or a pro-crypto embrace here in the US coming. We obviously are seeing overhauls within the SEC starting to take place. These are all very good signs. And we're closer than ever to Altseason, right? Back here, we weren't even close. Right now, we're close. And if somebody asked me, oh yeah, he says that, we're close to Altseason. We're technically in Altseason. We started Altseason actually back in the fall. What we're waiting for is the part of Altseason that is up only season, the part where all these alts begin to take off and just make massive moves against BTC, which we just haven't quite seen yet, because the biggest thing the market has been lacking is enough confidence and enough movement in the charts where we see adoption taking place, right? The switch needs to flip, just as we saw back in, February to March of 2024. It needs to flip back here, because that is how we get our big breakout extensions. That's where Shiba Inu can start working its way towards a new all-time high. All right. And the funny thing about this is, if we carry a very similar trend, and I hope that this is not the time frame, right? We see Shiba Inu breaching 404 in June. Again, I don't want that to be the case. And maybe this summer ends up being a little bit different than ones in the past. I did talk about that in my video yesterday, my crypto super summer video. You guys should check that out if you haven't, because we have a lot of these events starting to align where we may actually get some momentum to carry us through the summer. And what's interesting about that is that's exactly what we did in the market cycle back in 2016, 2017. Okay. This cycle very much is mimicking what happened in 2016, 2017. And the more suppression that takes place around these ranges right now, the more explosive these gains can in fact get. And I want to remind people, we're at this time where Shiba Inu supply available on exchanges is in fact remaining low. And in fact, it's starting to trickle down once again here. So we're still seeing accumulation take place. We're still seeing people hoard for the long haul. And that's going to be the most important thing when Shib does in fact start making some of these breakouts and starts making these moves to the upside. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys. It's very interesting that Shiba Inu's, following what is done historically speaking. And excuse me, again, if you guys do want to obviously trade on leverage, there are opportunities to do so. There are some links in the description below. You guys can check that out for BTCC or Margex. I do actually have longs open for Shiba Inu on both of these. My Margex long currently down 1.86%. My BTCC one, that one's down 0.71%. I do have some other longs that are doing well. My ADA long is doing well. I have a near protocol long that's doing well. But you guys can earn up to $10,000 in deposit and trading bonuses. There's no KYC. You can earn a 10% deposit bonus on your first time deposit above $500. Just understand that there is risk that comes with trading on leverage. So obviously, tread lightly. Use the demo trading platform on BTCC if you want to do that. But I want to hear your thoughts. Are we seeing something similar to what we saw in August? Is this where Shiba Inu is creating its floor and its next extension to the upside? I believe it is, but we'll have to just watch and wait and see what happens. So appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.